demo it, we're just going to answer your questions. So just, and then we'll have a demo for everybody.
Did you just go through every section, Martha?
But we're all mixed up.
Yeah, but where are you getting stuck? I want to know the point of your.
If you haven't done it since first semester, so I'm not trying to try to do the lesson, I'm just do the lesson there.
And what part are you getting stuck at? If I could zone in, if I could skip some of the parts you get.
The degrees part.
The degrees part.
Yeah, and the last bit.
Okay, so that's
Where
okay, so I have two of them here that they're done out.
you know, we examine the question on the learning outcome, is just draw a restriction mark there.
Yeah.
Is there going to be an exam and then on the exam, or do we have to remember the whole? Do you know that? Do we need to do the whole process to draw out the restriction mark?
You will be given a problem.
Oh, okay, so it's not just draw a restriction mark of the digest.
Well, that is, well, yeah, no, it's not. This is a digest.
Okay.
The whole thing.
That is a digest.
So you see when that came up as 30 marks, it was actually the whole thing.
Yeah, but you didn't have to write out the whole thing. You just had to. You probably did have to write out to do it. But now, because it didn't go so brilliantly, it's probably going to appear in your exam, right? And I want you to write it out. So I want you to write it out for the exam. Steps. To show that you understand.
Okay.
Okay? Does that make, does that?
Yeah.
Pardon?
Yeah, and calculation of step, is that?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So that's what I want. So therefore you do need to kind of understand it. Okay? And the process. Because the process of doing it is the challenge. Isn't it?
That's a
And do we
challenge.
have to
How do you mean? Are you?
It's just heavy, a lot of it.
Okay.
Oh, not just the restriction marks, it's just heavy.
Yeah. It's getting to that time that it does become a little bit more pressurized. I'm here. I'm trying to help you. So.
And do we have to draw it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, like I've done here in the notes, and I was doing it, but somebody sent me a question and I just took up his paper and started doing it today. And let me just can I take one of them to do? Will I do the one that's in that you've been practicing?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Did you really? I just read the question on that we were practicing.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So you have those notes printed out. I don't see why this one
Yeah, I saw
And then
the
use
this
one,
one.
this one is 2.7, and then we also use the 4.3. Does that make
But you did
sense?
for the other one.
We did
I
for the
saw
first
that.
one, that's the thing I get stuck on. I don't know why there was 3 different ones in that one and not in that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so can I start from that point?
Yeah.
Right?
That's the end of it.
That's the end of it.
Start off, right? So I'm just going to assume you have the questionnaire in front of you. Start off with PST1, right? 7 and 4. First thing you do, so the first step that you need to do is you won't get the total kilobases totaled up. Okay? So you need to total up the kilobases. So say for example 7 for PST1, right? So you total them up and you get 11 kilobases. That's the size of your plasma. A circle is 360 degrees. now we have 360 degrees divided by 11. Because if I'm going to draw it, I'm going to have to draw it in a circle, and I have to give a relative positioning of it. That's why I do the degrees. And if I look at the degrees, what does it turn out to be?
32.72.
I did another one earlier, it's 14, much easier, it was better. Okay, so that's the first thing, and you have a series of them there. So in this, PST 1, 7 and 4, ECOR 1, 6 and 5. I'm not an ecal at all, but I just want to kind of, bam, page 1, 8.9, and 2.4. And so there are our single digas, and then our doubles. We have
Sheila,
yeah.
will the double digest always be given in the question? Like if you ask us a question, will you always give us the double digest?
Yes. Is the short answer. Hang on, let me see. 4.3, 3.8, 2.7, and 0.7. 6.1, 2.8, 1.2, 0.8. Okay, so that's all I need. I don't need the third one yet. Okay? So what I do then is that I number, so here I'm saying this is the first thing you do, right, is that you calculate, sorry, this is the second thing, you calculate degrees. Here, that means that there's 2, 2, 2, and because there's 4 here, right, the first thing that more than likely exists is that I have a PSD one side, let's say, we're putting it at 0 to start with. Okay, and I'm going to set this one and the second PSD one side. It could either be here, right? I could put it there, 4 column bases away. So multiply that by 4. What does that give me, number-wise? 130. Alright, so then I'm just here guessing. Bring a protractor with you and make your life easier. Okay, protractor. So I'm here and I'm saying, okay, 130.9. Now, it also could be 130.9 in that direction. Couldn't it? Because it's a circle. It's a cut. You cut something, it's going to put it into two portions. The portions are going to be different sizes. One is going to be 7, one is going to be 4. Okay? So the way that I look at it is we have, from now on, once I've set that site, now, could I set it the other way? Yeah, I can. Doesn't matter. You turn out with the same map because a circle is a circle. So even if I started the other way, so we just ignore it, we set it straight. Right? So I'm putting this, and this is my only constant now, is that I have PSD1 here, and PSD1 here. Alright, so that means here, I'm right with PSD, is it? So this is like my 0 now, right? And here, like if I went 130.9, it's actually even further, 7.5. So I have 4 column bases and 7 column bases. So here is 0, here is 130, and here is 360. Okay? And if I was draw it, but I don't necessarily write it like that, I'm just going, this is a PSD1 side, this is a PSD1 side, and that's the other half of it. Okay? Put 1, put 2. Because it's in 2 places, it's a circle, okay? So I said that, and what I generally do with these right? Is that okay with everyone so far?
Yeah, no,
Yes. What?
No, I was just wondering why you picked the 4 first. Doesn't matter which one you pick.
It doesn't. You can pick either one of them. You're setting it. I just picked one. There's no. It's going to be either one or the other. I picked the smallest one first. Is generally what I do. So now I've said, all right. Here I've done that. 2 sides, 7 and 4, 7 and 4. 1 cut, second cut. Okay, and that's this. I'll just write it out. This time. Cut 1. Okay. Now, so the next thing that I have then is I want to look at my next PST, look at that PST cut and say, okay, where does EcoWar 1 fit in? Okay, is that the next one I did? Was it EcoWar 1 or was it LAM H1? Okay, it doesn't matter which order you do it in. Okay, so let me just do it this way because this is how it's presented here. So now I'm going to go, okay. And this is my E. Okay. So now this is saying, okay, I've set this, right? This is my PST1. So now, if I do a double digest, right, 2 cuts. So this is my first cut I've done. How is my second cut going to look? Okay. So my EcoWar 1, right? I have a 4.3 and a 3.3, a 2.7 and a 0.7. So what I have to look at now is, well, okay, it looks like I have here 4 cuts, doesn't it? And I have 2 of them done already. So some combination of those 4 fragments has to make up 4, and some combination of those 4 fragments has to make up 7. Okay? So looking at it, I'm going to pick it. You can tell me if I'm right. 4.3 and 0, 3.3 and 0.7. Yeah? So if I put those 2 together, that makes up the 4, and if I add the final 2, that makes up the 7. Okay? So now I say, okay, it looks like in this 4 kilobase fragment here, okay, that I have a 0.7 and a 0.3. So I can go 0.7, 3.3. Do I know if I'm right? No. 0.7, 3.3, 3.3, 0.7, 3.3, 0.7. Okay? Because that's I'm going to have a combination of 4 out of it. So I could just set up 2 and set up 2, and I'll move on to the next one. So the next thing is 4.3 and 2.7. And again, I don't know where they're going to be, so I'm just going to have to make them up. Right, so technically I could have my 2.7 here, right? And then my 4.3 here. And I could have my 4.3 here and my 2.7 here. And equally I could have my 2.7 here and my 4.3 here. And then I could have, 4.3 and 2.7. So those are my 4 options, just basically on the basis of 2 cuts. Okay? Everyone follow me so far? Yeah. So now I'm going to discount 2 of them pretty much right away, because if I ignore the blue, and just say, okay, let me just add these up, right? So I have here, sorry, I need to put this in purple, just if I'm going to ignore blue. This blue cut here. So here I have 3.3 and 2.7. What does that give me? 6. Okay. So that's, if I cut it here, right, I have 6. And there are my 2, if there are my 2 EcoWar 1 cuts, right, then I have 0.7 and 4.3, which is 5. Okay. So 3.3 here, if these are my 2 cuts, 4, 5, 6, 7.6, and then 0.7 and 3. Do you see where I'm getting this from?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll get the same. So here I go down and I go, this is my cut. This is my cut. So I have 0.7 and 2.7, so I have 3. and 7.6. Or in this case, I have 5. I'll go through it in a second now if you don't. You see where I'm getting that? Yeah? Okay, so now I'm getting the 3 from here. So just imagine these are my 2 cuts. Right? Ignore this one.
3.4.
Yeah,
Yeah,
3.4.
Yeah.
0.7 plus 2.7.
Just the 2 columns.
Yeah.
3.7 is 3.3.
Okay? Yeah? So now I can immediately discount 2 of them. Okay? So, in the question, right? In the question, there's marks going for each of these steps, right? So you get kind of, that you've calculated this out, you've shown that this is 6 and 5, and okay, what am I discounting? Well, in order to figure out what I'm going to discount, I have to go back to my eco R1, I have 6 and 5, okay? So either this one, or this one will work. And I can now say, well, that's not the orientation, and that's not the orientation. It's either this one or that one. Agreed? I'll have to wipe it out now. Is that okay? Yeah. You have to take it down? Yeah.
Do you know when you add 2 other ones and 2 inner ones? Which one do you think is 6 and which one do you think is 5? Like, so 3.3 plus 2.7 is 6. Do you always add the 2 inner ones first?
I'm just adding it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
But to get the right double digit.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. I'm just adding in or adding those 2 fragments together because in a single digest, then 2 would be together based on what I've written. Does that make sense?
And it's always the 2 inside and the 2 outside that you add up.
Okay. So I don't see it as inside and outside. Maybe this is part of my problem. Is that I just see it as the E41 cut being here.
Yeah, I don't see that at all.
You do not see that at all?
No.
Okay.
I'm just.
So you just see
Anyone have a...
Either way.
So,
Yeah.
the way that I look at it is, we've set this. Yeah? Wait a minute. We've set this. So if I had a circle, right? If I had a circle, I could do it with a string or something. If I had a circle, and say a bit of string, okay? And I made one definite cut in it, right? Okay, and I put a mark on another one. So what I would have then, if this was a piece of string, I'd have a cut here, right? Okay, which would mean it would open up. And then I have a second cut here. It's okay, I don't want the string now. Right? A second cut here. So now, right, 0 is here. And now, 4 kilobases away is here. Okay? Because we've set this one. Right? So what I have here are the restriction sites for PST1. So that's 1. If I cut something, that's going to be the other half of the cut. Okay? So that's still cut 1. This is cut 2. And they're all my PST sites. Okay?
Question. How is it 4 kilobases at the 130 degree mark when you did the maths for 11 kilobases?
That's the whole plasmid. 11 kilobases is the whole plasmid.
When you had the 4 and the 7.
When
When the 4 and the 7.
Oh,
So
okay.
from 0 to
Yeah.
130 is 4 kilobases.
Yeah. Okay? So here I am now. Okay. So I want to get back to this, right? So here I have, and I said, okay, I am saying this is set. So I'm now going to say what happens when I do a double digest. When I go and I put E. coli, or not E. coli, Eco R1 in there. Okay? What happens? Well, Eco R1 is going to cut it twice. I'm going to get 4 fragments, and I'm saying that 2 parts of those fragments must equal 4, the other 2 must equal 7. Okay, so this is a visualization thing. So I'm here with my circle. Okay, so say that I'm looking at this in maybe down in my map, and I'm saying, okay, so my second cut is either going to be here or here. Okay? Does that make sense? So ECOR1 is going to cut this fragment to give me 0.7. And because I'm cutting something in two, that 0.7 is either there or there. I don't know. Does that make sense? I'm focusing on the person who asked the question. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Not really. Yeah.
How do you know which ones to cancel out?
I'll tell you that in a second. I'm not
Yeah, that's your first cut, which is 0.7.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it could be here or it could be here, and that's why I have 4 options. So it could be here or it could be here.
Yeah.
That's where my 4 options are, okay?
Yeah.
So then I go and I do my other one, and my other one could be, it's going to be either, in this case, it's going to be 4.3 kilobases away here, or 4.3 kilobases away there, okay? So it could be in either direction, okay? But we know that the distance is fine, right? So what I'm saying is, and I'm going to answer this question now, if that's okay. What I'm saying is, I know that if I just had ECOR1 on its own, I would have a 6 kilobase fragment and a 5 kilobase fragment, okay? So in order to eliminate the other ones, right, what I have to do, right, is consider this to be an entire circle, right, and not think of my PST sites. Just don't think of them as being there, okay? So if my PST site isn't there, well now I have a 5 fragment here, and 3.3 and 2.7 is 6 fragment. So I just don't look at them and just add the other 2 fragments together.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I come up with that now?
Yeah.
Everyone with me to this point?
Yeah.
Who said I don't know? Okay. How can I help?
Oh, I don't know. I think I know it, and then I need to hear it.
Okay, well I'm trying to go through it step by step, right? So this is basically, will I go through this one more time? It'll help with the do you know what? The next one that I'm doing now is the exact same. The next step is the same, it doesn't matter which one you do. Okay?
Quick question.
Yeah, go on.
When you multiplied 4 for 4 kilobases, why didn't you start with 7? Or do you just pick one or the other?
Pick one.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. I tend to pick the smallest one. I do it the same way all the time so that I have consistency with it in terms of how I expect it to look. Okay, so now, are we good? Yeah. So now I want to do the exact same thing. I'm going to use my PSD1 cut as a reference point. I'm using my double digest here with BAM.
And Sheila, is that the 0.7 is from 0? The first cut is from 0 to there, and is the other one the other way?
The other one then. So I rubbed it out now.
No, just in the circle there.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to figure out the sizes. I've already forgotten them. That's BAM. It's 4.3 and 2.7. 4.3 and 2.7. Yeah. So the 4.3 can be 4.3 in this direction and in that direction, and wherever that is, the 2.7. You can cut something that's 7 kilobases. What's going to be left is 2.7.
No, I'm saying 0.7 there. Like, should we make the 2 cuts in between the 4 kilobase?
Yes.
Are you saying 0.7 is either going to be there for going anti-clockwise from 0, or there going clockwise from 0 and then anti-clockwise from that one?
Okay, so I'm saying that it is going to 0.7 multiplied that by 32.72. Somebody for me. 22.9. And take 22.9 from 130.
Yeah, 108.
Okay, so I'm saying, right, it's either going to be at 22.9 degrees or 108 degrees, and I don't know yet which one it is.
Okay.
Is that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Right, the next,
That's because it's within the 4 kilobases.
yeah, so I don't know, it's cutting it, I don't know whether it's cutting it at that point or at that point, but I know that the distance between it, as I map it in terms of degrees, is, it's either 22 degrees away from this point or from this point, okay?
Okay.
Right, now,
So you do the same the other way, you multiply your 4.3 by your degrees to get it the
Yes.
other way, right?
will I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody to do, somebody calculate the degrees for me. So 4.3 multiplied by 32.72 is equal to,
140.7.
say that again, 140.
Yeah, 170.
And then the, what do you call it? What's my next one?
3.7.
3.3,
So,
is it?
yeah, it's 3.3.
No, it's
That's
not,
it.
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
No, yeah.
Oh, no, it's 2.7.
Yeah, 2.7.
Is equal to what?
88.3.
So, I can say then, if I take it from 0, which is also 360, so I can take 88.3 from 360, okay, and my 2.7 cut could be there. That make sense?
Yeah.
And that means that if that's my 2.7, this is my 4.3. But it could also be from this side. So if I add 88 to 130, 88.3 to 130.9,
219.2.
219.2. What was this one again? 360 minus 88.3?
271.
271.7.
Okay.
Now, I think this is where you were asking me the question in a way, right? I think this is where you're asking me the question. So, whether I say it's 2.7 from here or 4.3 from here, it doesn't matter.
I understand that.
Okay, we get to it.
Yeah.
We'll get to it then. So it doesn't matter which direction, and
Yeah.
you know, I can pick the 140,
Yeah.
right, and take 140 away, right, from the 360, and I'd end up in the same spot.
Okay.
Yeah? Does that look right now so far?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, my next thing, here. So, now I have my 0, right? I have my 360, okay? These represent my PSD1 cut, okay? And this is my other, I'll keep it in blue. Now, with BAM H1, I have a 6.1, a 2.8, a 1.2, and a 0. What? 9, is it? 0 point? Okay. So some combination, right, of those has to add up to 4, and some combination of those has to add up to 7. So I'm looking and I'm thinking 6.1 plus 0.9. Now the only place that you would have to be careful is if 2 of them added up. Check, that won't happen, but I'm just saying that's the only time you'd have to be careful of this. So that if 2 of these combinations added up to the 4 kilobases, okay, if you had equal fragments. Okay, 6.1, 0.9, that's 7, so I have the 2.8 and 1.2. So what am I going to do here? So I'm going to pick my 2.8 and 1.2. So now I'm going to say 1.2, 2.8, 1.2, 2.8, 2.8, 1.2, 2.8, 1.2. Okay, so those are my... And my other option then, or the other side of it, and actually now I'm just going to just use the colour brown, going with a different colour. my potential BAM sites. Then the next part of it is 6.1 and 0.9. So my 6.1 could be here, 0.9 here, or it could be the other way around. And then my 6.1 could be here, 0.9 here, or it could be the other way around. So therefore, now these are my potential BAM sites. Here in brown. Am I alright? Have I done alright? Well, let's total up now. So when I'm doing my BAM sites, and I'm trying to calculate, I'll give you yeah, so the words are distant possible. Are they near to one another or are they far away from one another?
Yeah, so say, see them two there at the top.
Yeah.
So if you just cut them, add the two out ones together, and
Yeah.
the two in ones together.
Yeah. What do you get? 1.1 and 8.9. Yep. And that's what we want from the BAM each one up there. Isn't it? Okay, so now ignore this. Even though I need it in there, but I'm just saying don't look at it. And now saying, okay, this cut here, these two cuts will give me 6.1 and 8.9 plus 2.1. So that's definitely still in the game. This one here, 2.8 and 0.9,
7.3.
7.2, and what's the other one?
3.
3.7.
7.
7.3.
That's 7.3.
And 3.7, yeah.
Okay. And now this one is going to give me what? 6.1, 7.3, and 3.7, and this one is going to give me 8.9 plus 2.1. Okay? Any better? Right, now I move on to the next one? Yeah? Okay, so the next one then, I have done my two doubles, right? I have, now I can plot, can't I? Okay.
What about the other double? The equal one with
You don't have to worry about it until the end when I double check.
Oh.
Okay.
That's your
That's to know then that they all match up. Okay, that's when I have drawn my map. Okay. So the first thing, and I've done this already, I think, is I have indicated on my PST1 in red. Okay, so we have green. They're set. Okay. The next thing that I have then is my eco R1. So what did I say about my eco R1? And I just draw it here just so that I can. 4.3. 2.7. 3.3. My proportions are all out, it doesn't matter. Okay, so now it's again, so we said that 4.3, we have it at 140 degrees long, 140.7 degrees long. And the 2.7 we have as 88.3. What colour did I do it in originally? Can you remember on the board? sides. Doesn't matter if you probably not. Okay. So here we say, looking at it as a strip, and this is here with reference to my P. Okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that back into a circle. Right? I'm going to fold it around, put it back into a circle. And I know that then if I fold it around, I can now take this here and kind of try to it into there. Okay? And if that's the case, then I'm going to have something that's either what's 3.3? 108 degrees away, or 3.3 kilobases, right? Or it's going to be this option here, 0.7 and 3.3. Okay, so 29. Okay, and then this is my 3.3. So these are my two possible options here within that 4 kilobase fragment. Okay? And now I'm going to take my 7 and I'm going to try to fit it in here. And I know that I can either go, it's either going to be from this PST site, which I have here, it's either going to be 4.3 or 2.7 away. Okay? So it's either going to be 2.7 or 4.3 kilobases. Okay, which means that it is going to be either 88 degrees, 360 minus 88 degrees, or 360 minus 140 degrees. Does that make sense?
Can you just go back and do that again?
I will, please. Okay. Oh, can I have a calculator? I just want to double check that I'm right.
No, please carry on.
Yeah, so this is orientation A or orientation B. It could be in either one. Wait for a second now, I'll explain that. Yeah, so it's 219. 219.2 is.
Can you just explain where you got the 290? What did you multiply by?
Okay.
I share too.
And the bigger I
It could, yeah. It's just the ways of doing it. It's just one of the ways, and that's really how I confuse you.
Is there an easier way to do this, or just the easiest way to do it?
I think this is the easiest way.
Yeah.
I think this is the easiest way. I think that you get this question if you've worked through it, you could get it done in a half an hour.
Oh yeah?
Is this one of the full questions or like hard questions? Do you know?
I'm tired.
I'll pay you €20. Look, all I want is a pass. I'll pay whatever money you want.
I feel like we had a rough start. Second year we did it because
We don't want, what, let's be positive.
right? We had a rough, okay? Is this a guaranteed question?
I'm here to answer this question, not to be beaten up after a long day.
Like just blink twice if this is on the paper. So
It's not. Oh, it was.
Oh, look at it,
It's probably going to be
right?
at the end of this.
I'm here to ask you questions to help you out. Let's stop the is it going to be a banker question or not, and let's work through it and we'll spend less time speculating on this. Okay? What? Where are you for your exam? Boardroom. And what time is it on it? I'm going to make going to be meant to watch you smile on Monday. Right, can I go back to this? I do want to go home and I'm going to stay here for as long as it takes to help you with it, but you know, I do want to finish my day here. Right, answering this part of the question, where did I get the 200? Where did I get the 219, the 271? There's probably another way of looking at it, but I'm just looking at this as a circle and I'm saying it's from this restriction point, my 0, which is what I kind of drew it out as here. I'm saying it's either 4.3 or 2.7 away. Yeah? So my 4.3 is 140.7, 360 minus 140, right? 360 minus 140 is 219.2, or it's going to be 2.7 away. So 2.7 is 360 minus 88, 271.7.
Okay, so can I just, so if I'm right, basically what you do is get the 11 kilobases, multiply it by 360, that's your circle. And then whatever double digest you actually like orientate perfectly, you multiply each of them by 3.2.
Whatever this figure is.
Yeah, you multiply that by that, and then
Yeah.
you just, whatever, you can put any orientation on that circle.
I put both of them on it to start with so that I know which one is the right one.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
How do you mean it doesn't matter?
Okay.
So, bear with me. That's one of them on it. We're going to put the second one on it.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, because I sometimes I don't get questions. But I can probably say it doesn't matter is wrong. It does matter, so there is a system to it. Yeah. Okay, what's my next one?
You know the lesson that you have.
Is that not open for you? No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I had it done, so I only did it today. But it
What's this?
let me go fast.
When you do the lesson, you do it once and then
I have
discover it.
pictures.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'll fix that.
Yeah.
I'll turn this on. I didn't know that. What happened? The whole point was you could do it as many times
Yeah,
as you
I know
wanted.
they.
No,
I
I didn't know
don't
you
today, I
once.
didn't do it
That's
last
it.
semester, so I don't know.
What's this, Mike?
You know when she gave us the example to do on for restriction mapping, did you try it? Okay, well, it's there for you to do.
It's there, is it? Okay.
Like I spent the whole Friday doing that.
So a majority of the class did it, but then once
So I wouldn't have to be in
you
here.
did it once, you like out of it.
I got what you mean. I didn't even know it was there, so I didn't know what she was doing. Thanks.
Could you read what's inside that circle, just under 3.3?
What's on the 3.3?
Yeah, to the left of it, like.
108 degrees, 3.3 kilobytes.
Yes.
3.3 kilobytes.
It's not going to be good quality. Not even nearly close enough. That's not
Zoom in, tap, and then.
I don't use Snapchat camera. Snapchat camera works and then it's just in quality.
Oh, it's calm. That's a nice one, isn't it? Oh, wait, let me zoom up. It's not a personal issue. See, when you zoom in.
I just need to figure out a way to share that with everyone. Somewhere learn it. Sometimes if I listen to it, I can't take it in at a fast pace, so I need to go back and like make sure, like do it step by step. So
You did right.
because if I like done it this way, like I just wrote down what she's right now, I just end up with a page of information, not knowing how anything works.
Why is this going to do? Nice as a little bit.
So the first thing you do is multiply 4 by this. And your second point here
How's this guy's list?
is 7.
He took the video from my phone. Well, that's good. What is
So then after that, that's when you multiply this.
What's he doing?
And then y cube.
What's he doing?
Repeat.
What's he reading? No, but what's he doing in the program? What?
Modules in engineering.
Okay, that's what it's asking.
Oh,
Engineering.
mechanical engineering.
It's repeat.
That's why he's so flexible, like, you know?
Alright.
Repeats every good way to me.
So that's like
Repeats
7.
it. Sometimes it's good in a way. It's not really good at the end of the day. If you're actually like, you should pause that because we're chatting.
You know that the videos are on YouTube. They're different.
You see Sean when he goes,
We are preparing this plan. That's going to be me on Monday.
can you do it this way?
Preparing this.
Whatever you do,
They do that tomorrow.
You did have all the basic question and I add that.
okay.
What was that, Vanessa?
What I'm going to do is duplicate it. That means that
Why am I
one more time, but I can duplicate it twice. For some reason, my brain is too fried. Now I've done Igor one, I need to do BAM.
Ah, there's more.
I'm getting
Bang Bigelow.
right. So now I
I'm sure you could do it from 190.
yeah, either way. Doesn't matter. If you try to visualize as I'm trying to fit this into here, you know, it might help make sense. So, like, I mean, that's cut 1, right? Which I put at 0, but it could equally be cut 2. Do you know what I mean? But I just pick 1 because I have to pick 1. I'm taking one direction. Okay, so I'm doing. Sorry, now I'm doing that, aren't I?
Yeah.
Am I right here?
What's wrong? He said. Shows done. I think Igor. No, wait, let me see that.
What's 0.9 by 32.72?
29.4.
Say it again.
29.4.
Okay. Right. So this is my PSD1 site, right? These are my bands, right? And I'm going to say that if it is here, right? So if I take it from here, 6.1 and 0.9 is my 7. So I'm going 199. So I'm going to have to draw another arc here. right, 199.6, which gives me what?
Really, that's true.
From 360. Yeah.
160.4.
160.4, so this is 180, so here,
360 minus 160,
or 29.4 degrees, which is 30.4, I bet you, or 29, is that right?
30.6. 230.6.
Okay, so you begin to notice that that distance there and that distance here, the distance between the two sides is the same. Okay, so they were my two possible cuts in that fragment. And then my other fragment, 1.2 and 2.8. Okay, so remind me, this is my... Yeah, that's my equal. There are the four possible positions for them. Want to say that out loud to me?
I was just saying, would it be easier to draw it like separate ones for them instead of drawing all as
What
one?
I'm trying to...
It would have made sense though if you did it that way. If you couldn't see them beside each other, you know.
Draw a circle for every variation.
Like if we did that in the exam, would be okay.
They're fine, that's how I did it here, but I just don't have much space, so I'm just putting them on top
Yeah,
of
that's
it.
okay.
And okay, so here we have 160. So now we have, what do we have on our map? Right? We have 1, 2. Oh yeah, here I have to do that. And then my next one, 2.8. Right? 2.8 multiplied by 32.72. 1.2 multiplied by 32.72.
91.
What numbers do I have?
91.61.
91.61 and 39. Okay. So again, bless you. So again, going from, I'm either going to be 1.2, right? 1.20 away from my 0, or I'm going to be 2.8 away from my 0. Okay? So I'm going to be 39.6. Or I'm going to be at 91. 91.6.
39.33.
Okay? So how are we at that point now? Because the next bit should be okay. Is that all? You've mapped it now. You have all you have to do now is eliminate the ones that are the wrong orientation. You have to figure out what the orientation is. Okay? So how do you figure out what the orientation is? Will you go back to the beginning, to the question, right? And you'll say, right, these are my options. Oh, I have them here. These are my options. So now, so it is, as you said, it's very busy as I have it there. So let's do it.
So it's the purple then you're on page 1.
Yeah. Okay, so only thing I can be sure of is this one. 0 and 1.2. Now, so what I'm going to work on first of all is I'm going to work on looking at this section here. Okay? So I either have one here, 22 9 on here, 39.3 on here, 91.3 here, 1
degree. Degrees there.
okay?
Yeah.
This one will work for this.
Are you putting them all on one?
Yeah, I am, but I'm just going to start eliminating them. I just want to try and do it in a way that you will. Right. And what is my last digest? Eco 1 and BAM H1. Okay. I'm just cleaning this up in the sense I'm trying to make it a bit bigger and I'm taking out all this glue. I haven't cleaned it up yet.
From 0 to the second.
Okay? Am I right? I've transferred this properly, have I? Yeah? Okay, and I've represented it now. Let's just take this out. And take that out. Okay?
We're just doing the damage from
Let's see which one fits.
Okay.
Okay? Is that the part that was getting me? No? Yeah, because now this doesn't matter. Now you're doing your last double digest. Okay? So your last double digest, you have 5, 2.1, 2.1, 1.8, 5, 2.1, 1.8. Convert this now into degrees. What's 5? Is somebody give me the... 2.1. Yeah, multiply by 32.7.
163.6.
163.6. 2.1.
68712.
68.7. And 58.8.
Okay. So now I have to look at these and to basically figure out which one. So if I go and I say, this is my first eco or one site, right? If that's my first eco or one site, right? Which is the opposite to that? That will give me a 6 and a 5. Okay? So where is the opposite to that? I'll have to recalculate. No choice. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, I should have marked this at the start. So 219.2 minus 22.9 is equal to how many degrees? 196.3. I'm going to write that down. 22.9. So between here and here, right? Between here and here is 6 column bases. Okay, so they're matching. That's my eco possible 1, orientation 1, orientation 2. And then this must be my other orientation. Okay, so it's eco 2, in position 2, eco 2. Right, I'll go through that again. So now I have 4 eco sites, right? And 2 of them are possible. 2 of them are possible when I look at the last bit, and 2 of them they match. They're paired. They're not on their own. So I'm saying these 2 go together, and these 2 go together. And with that in mind, right, where can BAM cut, right, and give me the double digest? So we'll put this as the set point. We'll say, I'm going to picture this now, that this is where my eco-R1 is, right? So can I rub out the other one for a moment? Just so we have clarity? Yeah? We can put it back in a minute. So what I'm saying is this, right? This is my first option. I'm going to take that. Okay. I'm going to say that's where my eco-R1 is, right? Which one of my two possible BAMs now fit to give me this double digest? Okay? So I have how many degrees here? 39.3. So there's 16.4 degrees there. Do it. Do what?
No, sorry.
Okay.
Just do it.
We're getting 16.4.
Okay, makes sense.
So if that is my eco-R1 site, this can't be my BAM. Because the fragment size I get is 5, and that doesn't match any of those. Okay? So let's go to the next one then and say, okay, if this is my eco-R1 site and this is my BAM site, what fragment size do I get?
Why are you taking 22.9 and 39.3 then?
Because now this is my first cut for a double digest, this is my first cut, this is my second cut, and the distance between them will be the fragment size. Who asked me the question? Yeah, so the distance between them is the size of the fragment. So the distance between them in degrees is the size of the fragment, which I worked out here backwards. Okay? So now I'll go 96 minus 22.9. 91.6. Yeah, you just keep seeing it. Which is 68.7. Okay, so now we say, okay, if that looks like these two could work together. Okay? Now, if this is 91.6, which is the matching BAM? So this is BAM 1. My BAM is 8.9 and 2.1. Where's the matching one for it?
I don't know where it's fine. Yeah? I don't know where I am. I'm on cloud 9, don't mind. I don't know why I've done this course.
See you 2015. Engineering, science. Let me be smart. Science.
Sheila doesn't have to get
Why is this coming?
All I know, this is different.
Okay? So basically, if I took 330 there, I'm going to get 7.2, so that doesn't work. Okay? So at the moment now, I have a 2.1 and 2.1, 2.1, 2.1. And I bet you if I calculated this is 1.8. This is 5. Okay?
1 hour.
So from that side to that side it's 6.
I know, my drawing might be great.
No, just
Yeah, so this is from 22.9 to 91.6, that's where my BAM is at. And that'll give me a length of 2.1 kilobases, that's 1.2 kilobases. This is 1.8, I haven't calculated, and this is 5.1. So from here to, 5.1 back to this one here. Would I double check that I'm right? Yeah, it is, yeah. You don't look convinced.
You just lost it there at the
don't
end.
understand.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But it's the method is the same. You're just trying to calculate out which ones are possible. Okay? And therefore, by trying to calculate out which ones are possible, you have to mark away the impossible. So, tell me where
Like, what did you take away to get the second 2.1?
Well, I just tested the 160 minus 91.
Oh, so you just take that away?
Yeah, then about a 32.76. Yeah, but actually, if you look at it and you kind of say, they seem more on the right side apart, you won't have as much trial and error to go through. The only thing about that is you can check your question, you can check your answer. And you know that by the end of it, you could be coming out with something that's 100% correct. Isn't it? It's mathematics. If you can follow the logic, it is mathematical and you can get the right answer.
Yeah.
Okay? Okay, so now, with my double digest, I've picked these, right? So 0, where else am I? 130.9. Ta-da!
And it's that easy.
It is, above anything else, a question you can get 100% in.
If it's on the exam.
If it's on the exam.
If it's 100 marks.
If it's on, you're going to see me crying. Okay, if it's not, okay? Is it better?
To the left, to the left.
Well, I've done my, I think I've done it. And you can, if somebody gets it, you can try to help one another. So I'm
Sorry.
who gets it? Who thinks that after doing this class and looking at it again, they'll be able to do it? You want the teacher.
Tutorial.
Do you see how you have
Technically,
22.9 to 91.6 is your 2.1?
Yeah.
I see where you got that. And then from 91.6 to 160.4,
Yeah.
see that one?
Yeah.
How do you figure that out?
So 160.4 minus 91.6 is equal to 68 divided by 32.72 equals 2.1. I know it off by heart now.
32.72 should have been in the brain.
Why in the first one you took an eco or one and a BAM one, and then the second time you took 2 BAM 1/6?
I just want to get the,
You can take any just to get those.
I wanted to make sure that this was my right band one,
Yeah, so you,
so that the distance between them was correct.
and if that wasn't, you just move on to the BAM.
I checked the other one first, to be honest with you.
Yeah, okay.
I checked it first, I just didn't write it down because it could be either of them.
Good, yeah.
Yeah.
Where'd you get the 1.8? Yeah,
Where did I get that?
yeah, the 1.8 from.
Question.
Oh, oh.
How did you get 5.1 then?
Okay, I can't hear. What's it? You asked me where do I get
5.1.
5. Sorry.
Well, how did you get it?
How did I get it?
Yeah, I should figure out that was that. I know I should add it.
I didn't calculate it. I didn't calculate it, but it should have up.
But what do you calculate to get it?
So 360 minus 219. Is that the solution that's in here?
Huh? It's 360 minus 219 equals whatever divided by 32.72, 4.3. 360 minus 219, right?
360 minus 1.2.
Boom, well, 360 minus
1.2.
Michael,
Is that the
minus 4.
2 and 1.2? You missed 2. You can put base. That's it.
We double check this is.
It's coming up as 4.3 rather than 5.
Is it?
Yeah.
This is coming up as 1.8 there. Sorry, it's not. 360, sorry. 360 minus 219.2 plus 22.9 divided by 32.72. It's coming up as 5.
What did you do? What's there? 360 minus 219.2 and
360 minus 219.2 plus 22.9.
160.7.
Because this wasn't here. This isn't here in the Band 2 digest.
Oh,
Okay? Right. Can I go home?
Can I ask you one question? Okay, what's in? It's still the same question. Still the same question.
Okay.
See, for this one here, you use the 1.2 kilobyte and 1.2 kilobyte for both those orientations. It's 4 kilobytes. Then for the 7 kilobytes, you use the 6.1 and 6.1 for both of them. Then for this one, you use 3. But could we use the 2.7 for both of them?
See, I think it doesn't matter which one you use,
Okay.
as long as you know how you follow the same pattern the whole time.
Okay.
You know, so it's
So
cutting,
that's what
cutting
comes up in the
something.
lesson. So
This is going to be a very messy question on the exam.
Say that again?
it comes up in the lesson like that. That's how I.
I think it's probably just going to stick in on Monday.
no, I'm wondering about
No,
the
I
question
don't
like
like
math
trying
exam.
to overly explain it. I think that, that if you look at it this way, you see that they match. But look at something, you're putting 7 calobases.
I think
One
it's
plus.
I think
All
I think on my
No,
exam.
more towards the end.
What?
I would imagine, because that's the hardest part.
Might well depend.